It is September 20th, 2022, and this is a walkthrough of our current progress with the render app. With pretty much everything I'm going to show, assume that I built it unless I say otherwise. So we'll start out with authentication screens on the app. So I put in my email. And we went for a passwordless authentication model, which is pretty convenient. Sends me an email with the code. And that is checked by a Lambda function, and I'm authenticated. So the first place that I land when I open the render app is on our home screen, which we're calling the vault. That's because our app is built around content storage, and this is the private storage where my uploads are saved. So we'll kind of start with the most important part. I come here, I scroll down. This is stuff that I've uploaded. So I'll take this Minecraft picture. It's gonna take a second to load. We'll explain that in a little bit. But I have some options. If I want to delete something, I can. If I want to edit an upload that I've made, I can tag it to a game. So I guess this is the library of games that I've already tagged my posts to or my uploads to. This is everything. So I can pretty much search for anything I want. Yeah, Morrowind as an example. I can change the date on an upload, or I can add text. I'm gonna save that. I have options to edit. I can download if I want. So that just straight up downloads it. I'm using an emulator, so I won't right now. Or I can share the image file somewhere, wherever I want. I can post within the render app, which we'll get to in a bit, or I can view something in what we're calling focus view. So it's just kind of me and the image. If I want to rotate to landscape, I can. And if I'm not on an emulator, I can pinch and zoom. So that's essentially engaging with content on the render app. I can swipe around. And we also have a decent video player. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done. So that's generally engaging with my uploads in the vault on the render app. I can also explore content that I've uploaded by what I've tagged it to. So, for example, uploads that I've tagged to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild from 2020. Nice, easy way to get to content that would otherwise be kind of at the bottom of my chronological vault. And notifications. Next, we have the Explore tab on Render. So on this side, we're looking at different games. So these are games where other users have publicly posted content. We don't have a lot of other users right now, so it doesn't do a whole lot, but we'll take Animal Crossing, for example. Can come here. It looks kind of nice. Then I can view other people's posts. I can comment if I want, or I can download or view in focus view. I can also search users if I want, so that's pretty convenient. My username is bro. There I am. I'll find my co-founder. Here he is. If I want, I can view the post that he's made publicly, which we're calling his gallery. So here's an upload from a game called Bad North. Again, I can comment if I want. I can download it. I can view it in focus view. Yeah, so that's essentially the Explore tab. Next, we have the Plus tab. So this is essentially just content management on Render. So if I want, I could post something, which we kind of already covered. I can upload from my local device, so on mobile, or the much better way to upload content to Render is via our web app, which I'll get to in just a bit. But if I want, I can copy that link. I could share it. I should probably open it on a PC. So that's the Plus stack. Then we have our social stack. We've experimented with different approaches to like an internal render social network, but this is where we're at right now. We have a distinction between users that I've added and everyone. Right now, the distinction is pretty blurred because I think I've added all of our beta users. But just an easy way to scroll down, see everybody, etc. And finally, we get to profile. So this is my profile. If I want, I can invite someone. This is my custom invite link. So it's a pre-filled Google form that's then approved and granted beta access. I can look at users that have added me. I can look at the posts that I've made. So again, this is my personal gallery. And then there are a couple kind of interesting user management items under the settings tab. So some of this is fairly straightforward, but I guess two items I think it's worthwhile covering are onboarding screens. We didn't get to see those earlier because obviously we saw the returning user authentication flow, but I think a fairly decent onboarding flow for new users, and then some details for them. And then one other one is our local sync system. So I guess there was some loading time when I first opened the app this time, because this is the first time that I've opened this app on this emulator. But essentially what we have is like a user modifiable caching system that fairly significantly speeds up loading time. So the default setting is photos and thumbnails are cached on my local device, and then we have our own kind of content resolution system that makes sure that those photos and thumbnails are always up to date, and then videos are drawn from the cloud. So I mean, it doesn't use a tremendous amount of space for our users, and storage space was definitely a concern for some, but it really speeds up Vault loading times because everything here is just images and thumbnails, and I can configure that as a user if I want to have everything or nothing at all if I'm really concerned about storage space. But that was a big upgrade that we rolled out a few weeks ago. So that's generally what we have on the render app. Just expanding a little bit, I think we'll also show web upload for a second. So I will screen share everything. There we go. So if we come here to render.game, this is our landing page. Made this. It's pretty simple, but was a fun experience with React Native Web via Expo. So I come here to login. Now this part, which is the app.render.game element, which is focused on helping users upload, was developed by a different member of our team. So I can't take credit for that, but I log in. I'll find something. This is actually from a different project, but I'll use it here. Well, that's going to be a huge image too. And oh, here we go. And now it feeds beautifully into my render app. So that's generally where we're at right now. I left out some stuff, especially some different like node projects and other elements of what we're working on, but this gives a good sense of the render app to date.